Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the Los Angeles Lakers just got through playing a game against the Toronto Raptors at the Crow, and they got smashed 114 to 103, I believe was the score. And I guess I'll start with the good. Um, they showed some fight, right? You love the fact that they made the score respectable because it was definitely looking like it was about to be a repeat performance of what happened to us yesterday. Um, I think guys worked really, really hard to no avail on the boards. We got slaughtered on the boards, 60 something to 40 something, but you could clearly see it wasn't for lack of effort. Guys were really trying, really, really hard. They just did not have enough size to go up against a team that has um, basically a team full of forwards and a Mighty Mouse all star point guard center and Fred Van Fleet on top of that. So I think the world of Toronto as a team, their roster, how it's constructed this year looks fantastic to me. And they're not a perfect team. They still have some pieces to make themselves who they need to be. But boy, do they have a bright future. Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, Gary Trent Jr., um, Precious Achua had a double double. All of those guys made themselves, uh, made their presence felt out there. And you just have to give credit to a great team with fantastic coach, great coach. That's what I see there. They're just gonna have to put it all together eventually, but I think they're gonna make some noise. I think their first round matchup, depending on who it is, could go their way. So they're extremely dangerous. They play some defense, and what we saw out there tonight was just a situation where I don't think Toronto played very well. When I really kind of break down what I'm thinking of their team, I have to acknowledge that they didn't shoot the ball well, particularly. They didn't take care of the ball well, particularly tonight for themselves. And I like what the Lakers did in terms of forcing steals. We did a great job, even though we were getting crushed on the boards, and it ultimately led to us having no chance. What we did see was the Lakers press the issue defensively and force that team to repeated turnovers. So I definitely like that aspect of what we did. Braun dropped 30 out there. To me, it doesn't look like he's very healthy. I can't believe he played both of these games. Got to give him his credit for the heart that he showed and determination he showed to continue to try to go out there and do what he does for a team that's not going to be doing anything, it seems. Granted, he has his own personal stuff he's trying to do for his numbers and all of that, but you still appreciate that a guy's out there running around uh, knowing that he's not 100% as well. Tweaked his ankle in this game. He scared everybody. He was kind of hobbling out there for a second, but he was able to finish the game strong, and you just got to give him credit. Russell Westbrook scored 15 points, which was actually something we really, really needed because this team couldn't score worth a damn tonight. We really couldn't. So his points were helpful. I felt like he did some things we didn't like. Um, you know, Still off rhythm, still kind of forcing the issue. And because he forces the issue, it kind of puts people in awkward positions. It was a lot of that. Him forcing guys with just decisions that he would make or, split second decisions he would make that would go the wrong way. He forced guys in that last second shots or forced guys into awkward positions. This is a lot of that. A lot of that. But nevertheless, he was a +5, I believe he was. He only had one turnover tonight. So and his shooting percentage was better than usual. So all things considered, he actually had a better game than most. But still, the issues that we had with him on a regular basis were still there tonight. Just synchronized issues and stuff like that. So as I always say, I would prefer the Lakers just shut him down. I think it would give us a better chance to win because a lot of that forcing the issue stuff really kills us from possession to possession. It really, really does kill us. Um, and he's out there for 34 minutes. I just don't understand how a guy can struggle as bad as he does and still garner that type of minutes total in a game where your team's struggling. And another thing that I thought was kind of interesting was Wayne Ellington got more minutes than Malik Monk and Austin Reeves. Um, you know, that right there just sums up all that is wrong with Frank Vogel being our coach. Because even now, in his mind, in this circumstance, he still believes playing vets gives him the best chance to win. Our vets, particularly. And that, after seeing this all season long, after all that we've gone through, and he still believes this, I just don't know how to view him. You know, there's nothing productive that comes to mind. Everything I have to say is actually insulting, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. But the reality is, this is yet another one of those situations, another game where you look at and say, "Yep, Frank once again." Tonight was another Frank game. You just can't tell me that you did the best thing you could do for yourself when you don't play your kids in situations where your team is trash and you don't have nothing at all going on for yourself. We can't beat anybody. And this guy wants to continue to run the same stuff that doesn't work. We did see Winyan Gabriel more tonight. The things that I like to see from him, we see him continuing to run hard, dart into the lane. He closes out extremely fast. That's what I like about Winyan particularly. He can get from the inside to the three-point line about as fast as anybody on our team. He moves, and I really, really like that about him. Unfortunately, we just need to do a better job, and I'm not talking exclusively about him at all, but the team needs to do a better job of just positioning themselves to get these rebounds when we know that we're small. We're obviously so much smaller than Toronto, it's not even funny. But what we cannot do is allow the ball to continue to carom off of the rim over our heads. That's not a size issue. That's a positioning issue. Long shot equals long rebounds. And I can't tell you how many times I saw the ball carom off the rim and fly into a Toronto Raptors hands over the Lakers' heads. We missed so many rebounds that touched our hands tonight. It has to be some type of stat for that stands out above most games, because I can't tell you how many times the ball touched Laker hands and didn't end up in Laker possession. So it was just a lot of that tonight. Toronto definitely beat us to the 50-50 balls. Austin Reeves was particularly bad tonight, 1 for 7, even though that one was an excellent dunk at the rim, where he had split the defense and kind of found himself into the lane, but immediately came back the next play and then just got swatted. You know, you just see the young fella trying his best, but you know, you need him to be able to hit that three-point shot. I think he needs to lock himself in a gym somewhere all summer long and really, really work on his three, because he's hit it. We've seen him hit it when it matters most. You know what I mean? He's a guy whose percentage seems to go up when the pressure's on, when the crunch time is in. And I can't wait to see him ascend in that way, because I think he's going to win some games for whatever team he's on. Hopefully it's us. But for the time being, he can't throw a rock in the ocean from Trey, and it's a lost possession each and every time he shoots it, just like it's a lost possession anytime anybody else shoots it. We shoot the three too much, and one of the reasons why our score was respectable tonight was because Toronto shot it even worse than us. They did not hit threes well tonight. We did not hit threes well tonight. A repeat situation from last night, another historically inept first quarter for the Los Angeles Lakers. Yesterday in the first quarter, we gave up the most points we ever gave up in a quarter since the shot clock era. And tonight, we scored the fewest points we had ever scored in a first quarter with 12. So we're setting new lows. We're digging on new lows. We're just finding ways of getting worse. And that's what I saw. A lot of hesitation. Excuse me, that's not what I want to say. A lot of continuing of shooting bad three-point shots, I think, is what I saw. A team that just got out to a hot start early in the game because their opponent, us, just couldn't hit a shot early. They got out to, if I'm not mistaken, a 19-2 run. Like, that's how they started the game. So that'll help you understand just exactly how bad it got for the Lakers and why I'm ultimately encouraged by the fact that they didn't let it be a bad score, basically. The score was fine for what it was that you actually saw. Um, I saw a lot of Carmelo Anthony. He couldn't hit as many shots he would have liked to tonight. Saw some. See, this is the thing about the Lakers. This is what I saw tonight. Let me just break this down the right way. What I saw tonight was a team that was trying with effort, but because they were so inept, size wise in terms of rebounding, we would get one and done situations each and every time down the floor, which means that those missed shots by these players, whoever they were, it turned into transition buckets for Toronto. It turned into situations where it was one and done. We were getting no offensive rebounds, and we were shooting too many threes. So when that happens, you find yourself in a situation where your score just gets out of hand really quickly because you're shooting threes, they're rebounding those threes, and they're headed the other direction. So it was a whole lot of that tonight, a whole lot of that, and it just didn't seem to get a lot better as the time progressed in this game. Uh, you know, it comes down to just a lack of size. At the end of the day, I have to blame Rob Pelinka just as much as I blame Frank Vogel, because now that Dwight Howard wasn't available with some personal stuff he had to go handle, we were left with just Wenyen Gabriel at the 5, and obviously that's not enough. When you match up against a team like Toronto, that's a joke. When you match up against a team like Phoenix, that's a joke. You're not going to have any chance of competing. You're going to ask LeBron to do and anybody else you put on the floor to do too much. And we're really playing with fire here, playing LeBron down the stretch of the season. I understand that he has his own mind about how he wants to handle things, what his goals are. But at the end of the day, he is still an asset of the Los Angeles Lakers. And given that we don't have many of those, if he goes down with an Achilles or a knee or something, we are going to be bad for many years. Many years. But if we're able to salvage his health by the end of the season, maybe we decide to trade him, maybe we don't. But at least we made it out of this thing alive. No playoffs or playoffs. The worst case scenario for the Lakers is not either one of those scenarios. It's if one of these big contracts go down with a season-ending injury during garbage time of a season that you ain't about to win a championship. That is the worst case scenario. That is what we need to guard against. Not trying to preserve LeBron's record books, nonsense stuff that has nothing to do with the Lakers. Not, trying to go down with the ship and hoping we can mathematically save ourselves so this doesn't look like a complete failure. It is a complete failure. You don't have a freaking center on the roster. It's a complete failure. Commit to something is what I would ask this franchise to do. Commit to understanding what it is that comes with who you are. Know that you need to shut these players down. We got scared tonight with LeBron hobbling on that ankle. It looked like an Achilles on first glance. We thought it was all over. When you go through that moment as a Laker fan, you understand that that's not just this season. That's not just next season. That's many seasons in a row that you can see yourself not being any good. I just don't want to live like that as a fan. I think the Lakers organization and those in position to do something about it should really consider that more so than they consider anything else. The fact of the matter is, if Bron goes down, or if AD comes back and his injury is worse because we've played them, we can't trade them for anything. They then become useless pieces themselves. You see what I'm saying? Just like the rest of the useless pieces that we have. We just need to be real about that. There's a lot of pride on the line. There's a lot of egos. People don't want to admit, like I said, it's a failure. People don't want to let go of what it is that they got on their minds, how this thing's supposed to go. It's a lot of money to be made by these guys playing these last 17 games, blah, blah, blah. But I'm telling you, the next year and the year after that is on the line because of this. These are the moments in time where you look up and say, I have a choice. Either I can take one path that's going to lead me toward the possibility of years and years of trouble, or I can cut my losses and take the other path that may make me take a loss right now, but ultimately keep me from being horribly under where I need to be in the future. These are those moments right now. When you watch a game like this, you had a moment like that with Bron, and then you still go forward and allow him to continue to play. You still go forward and ask him to play the center position when you know that compounds the issue even more so, because it makes it so that he has to be more physical out there, puts him more at risk, puts him at the foul line more. These are things that make it so that you increase the opportunity of him getting an injury, increase the chances of something going wrong. And it's like we're none the wiser. We're just sitting here twiddling our thumbs, acting like we don't know what's going on. And I'm just tired of the ineptitude. I'm tired of the lack of committing. I'm tired of people pretending like they don't know what's happening here. You know? And so as I always do, I use my voice. As a Laker fan, that's what my job is. Rather than to sit up here and talk about the details of a game we got blown out and weren't even available to make ourselves look decent out there on our own home floor. We got to continue to converse about the same old stuff, which is lack of size, lack of assets, bad coaching, and just old players. I'm over it. It took everything in me to watch this game. It took everything in me. I was so ready to turn this game off so many different times, but I'm dedicated to what I'm doing here, and that's why I watched this garbage. But I don't blame a single soul for not sitting through that. It was as bad as it looked. The guys did try at the end, but it was a whole lot of Wayne Ellington, a whole lot of Russell Westbrook, when it should have been a whole lot of Avery Bradley, THT, Malik Monk. THT looked phenomenal. I know I'm about to run out of time right now, but I want to give him credit for looking great and scoring the ball well. And he should have had more time out there. He should have had more shots out there. Anyway, Lakers suck. Nothing new. BDF 44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.